ahead, Amish. Go
I was
ahead,
going to
please.
say, I just heard your podcast, Ryan, about you're talking about that Vice article about how someone was saying that there's like caste system discrimination in Silicon Valley right now.
Yeah.
That sounds like nonsense. I texted you too, like you were even saying that some Dalits, because in India there's this untouchable class. It's called Dalit.
Okay, yeah, no, two guys came to my show and they last weekend and they're like, yeah, yo, we're Dalits, and I was like, wow. Am I right that that's not happening in Silicon Valley? And they're like, no, it's fucking total bullshit.
Oh yeah, sounds like nonsense. Did you shake their hands?
Oh, of course not. No.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. I was gonna say I might have to leave then. I might have to leave.
Are you the high caste?
I'm actually third, but we act like we're number one. Like I'm Patel. We pretend we're number one because when the British came in,
is this the caste system right here? Is this it?
That's it.
So Amish, out of people we know, like comics,
yeah,
who's high and who's low? Like, is Raheel high or low?
I'm gonna say everyone's high because the lower caste don't get to leave India. Like, I just assume everyone's high. Hari Kondabolu is like a Brahmin class. They're like the
way
richest.
He described it is he said like Muslims are kind of low there, and he goes when he went to school, the fact that he was a Muslim, his dad's like owns a hospital, and it's like a big deal that like a Muslim was able to like pull that off.
Okay, so these Dalits at the last ones, the dark kid, that is the untouchable caste.
Careful.
I know, it's terrible, but this is the untouchable caste. They convert to Islam because in Islam they're not untouchable anymore. Right. And when they try to do that, dude, the Hindus are like beating the shit out of them.
They're kind of like if you were like a dude that's in like grew up in the hood and everyone's like, oh, this guy's whatever, and then you're like, well, if I join the Bloods, I'm not whatever anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you gotta. Yeah,
the Muslims are Bloods. But
true.
No, it's a community, right? They joined that. There was like they were trying to mass convert to Buddhism recently, and all these Hindu nationalists are like, no, we're not going to let you get together. No, Buddhism.
So yeah, no, I definitely wasn't. My argument by no means was that like this doesn't exist in India or other places in the world. My argument is that like, for example, a guy like me who's never heard any, like, I don't know who, I know 20 brown people, like, just in comedy alone. I don't know any of your fucking casts. So there might be, like, some certain companies that's, like, run by Indian people that run that, but that's got to be some tiny percentage. There's just no, and the girl goes, oh, I can't even get a job in Silicon Valley because of my caste system. And you go, that just, like, can't possibly be true. There's like an article basically saying that, like, they're always like running out of stuff to complain about. So they go, basically, if you're from the wrong caste now in India, you can't get a job in Silicon Valley. And it was like, that's not
definitely not true. There's
well, the way
no
it sounded,
Ryan,
it sounded like
it's a Vice piece. It's another Vice piece.
They won't talk to her in the lunchroom. Oh my
gosh, this is a lie.
They said they won't talk to her in the lunchroom. That's what they said. And people won't talk to her for more than 15 seconds because she's from the wrong caste.
Oh my gosh. You see social seclusion within your colleagues. They don't want to eat lunch with you. They don't smile back at you. They do not have longer conversations with you. I can think of why you wouldn't want to have a longer conversation with this lady, and it has nothing to do with her skin color.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. I mean, that's the sad thing about it. Is that sometimes people are just weird and awkward a little bit, and maybe someone doesn't want to talk to them. I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe this guy's an asshole. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or maybe one guy's an asshole.
You know what? And this is the problem with these articles. It's not even that isn't one of the problems with a lot of this stuff is you go, even if your conclusion is true, this didn't prove it. So you go, oh, cops are racist or whatever, and here's why. And you're like, it doesn't even, I'm not saying that they aren't, but this doesn't prove it. So that's like a lot of the problems with these things. And then they tell you a bunch of stuff that like doesn't really prove their point.
Yeah, Vice, they have a great documentary section and then the writing section. And look, maybe I'm asking for a cancel here, but the blogging section seems to be like cancel articles.
Blogging in general is fucking retarded.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just like, hey, everyone's going to care what I don't know, though. Like, what's the difference between that and making YouTube videos? It's just like a video blog.
Well, I mean, there is... So the difference is, for one, you're making something, but like, yes, there is a lot of YouTube videos that are essentially doing a version of that. But my point is, if you look at what YouTube is as a whole, and if you look at the performers and people that are YouTubers, and you say what percentage of them have channels that just essentially complain about stuff that doesn't exist, it might be a percentage of it. Where if you look at the main blogs in the world, and you said what percentage of these are just a bunch of horseshit, we're talking like 85%.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, that is.
Bomb. So I mean, that industry has been way more like infected by this stuff, and because
Why is that though? Why is it the rage
know
click?
why. I'll tell you exactly
I think
why.
it's the rage click. They want
no,
the rage
of course
click.
that's a big part of it, but a lot of it is that they hire people for 25 grand a year, and you get idealistic 20-year-olds that want to do that job because they want the social points, because no one that's who wants to take jobs like this, and then then the
In your podcast, you said like, hey, something bad happened at my work, and sure, write it up and we'll cancel them. Here's $9 for the article. They don't even pay. It is. I've heard Kurt Metzger talk about this too, where he's like, it's a bunch of rich kids trying to become writers. So a lot of the I just feel like the blog section is nonsense. Like there's all these internet marketing guys that even teach you like, hey, you want to be a writer on New York Times? I'll teach you how to get on the blog section, and then you can.
Here's what I hate. I hate the fake prestige that print still carries, where it feels like if you're published on Vice, it's like, oh, now you're some credible source. Where increasingly we're learning that almost anyone can get published on any of these sites.
They are doing their best to remove that, though. They are doing their best to scrub print of any credibility. So
yeah. Well, I mean, they just can't afford to. They can't afford the journalism. They can't afford to pay someone to go do research on a real story.
That's right.
And you got to just fill the pages. So.
Yeah, they just make these crazy, like Shane Smith just makes these like crazy deals with these like huge venture firms, and they just have to keep cranking out clicks, and they can't ever. I mean, you guys, I'm sure a lot of people already know how this works. Like the cat's out of the bag, but like when I when I was doing stuff with like the Hard Times, there was a lot of times these magazines would like buy their clicks because they're like, we sold this many clicks from Vice, and we only got half of them, so we'll just like buy other people's clicks and then be like, hey, here's how many clicks we got. So the whole thing, and they're like, well, we bought them from Vice, and you're like, well, whatever, you got them from Reductorist, whatever.
Oh, there's a lot of playing around like of clicks and all that kind of stuff to try to overhype like how many actual views you have. The truth is that video's killing print. It's crushing it right now. But they're still holding on to that vestige of like, we're still news. Like right now, I know that if any video on YouTube, if it has a real site that has print, it'll rank higher in the YouTube algorithm if it's like from CNN, Fox, ABC, all because they have print like arms of their network. So there's a bunch of news networks that are like just on YouTube now. They don't get that prestige because they don't have a print arm to them. And it's like,
prestigious
that's
news
ridiculous.
networks like the Young Turks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, didn't even get invited to the DNC. Didn't get the invite.
Really?
AOC didn't get the invite. Dude, Cortez didn't get to go.
Was she mad about that?
Video. Yeah, come on, man. Where's the respect? Yang didn't get invited, and then Yang had to be like, he complained about it. So like, oh, sorry, Andrew, you're invited.
Is Yang even like in politics anymore? Like I thought once he was out of that, he's like, all right, I'm going back to my life as like a billionaire.
He's trying. No. He's trying to stay in the game. He has a podcast now. He's trying to be in Biden's cabinet. Like he's like, man, I worked hard and I think I deserve.
What do y'all think of Yang? I like Yang personally. I'm gonna be.
I
honest.
like Yang. Why would he want to do that though? I don't like some of his opinions, but I think Yang's like a badass. But why? Yeah. Why would he want to though? It's like I guess for future, so then I could be maybe I could run again in the future.
He's just being pragmatic now. I think him and Bernie are both kind of like, okay, we lost. How do we stay involved? How do we keep affecting change?
Well, I got news for Bernie. If he's like, I just want to be positioned good for like 2035, you got to be like, listen, dude.
No.
I think you missed the fucking.
He had his shot. He had his shot. I mean,
yeah.
He got screwed twice. I wouldn't even try it again. I mean, the DNC has shown that they are not willing to have anyone but their choice in the seat.
That's so sad. They don't even let AOC speak. Like she is running. Like everyone loves her right now. They give her a 60-second videos taping. What an insult,
dude.
60.